of force. We would try to defend our boats as much as possible, mainly using our bodies, and we did agree that also using water or water hoses would be okay to try to keep them away, but that we would not, one, we would not have any kind of weapons on our boat, and two, that we would not use physical force to repel them. On our boat, it's exactly what we did. We tried to put our bodies in the way. We were beaten up for it, but we did not respond by physically assaulting the soldiers. I wasn't on the Marmara at the time of the attack, so I can't actually say what went down there, though I wouldn't be surprised if some people, you know, didn't stick to the agreement amongst all of the coalition or the organizing members. I mean, you had a situation where a boat of 560 people, most people, we had given a training and orientation, but yet in the middle of the night you had commandos opening fire on your boat and descending on your boat from above. People might have felt like they had to fight back, but they fought back not really with the weapons or guns, because Israel had those, and they're the ones that launched the initial assault. So this attempt to vilify some people that might have picked up chairs or whatever to defend themselves, I think, is quite misplaced.
And what about the issue that apparently some of the folks also brought children with them, and the criticism that, again, that the Israeli government has launched of putting children in such a dangerous situation?
I spent a couple of days on the Mavi Marmara when our boat had a little bit of technical problems, and there were no children except for one. The first mate of the Marmara had brought his wife and young son on board, and they were basically the whole time in the captain's quarter. Generally, you know, the crew, captain, first mate are allowed, you know, under international law to bring their families with them. Whether or not it was a wise decision, I don't feel like I can comment on. But aside from that family and that one child, there weren't other children on these boats.
And Huwaida, the image that is shown in the video of what is described as the commandos being attacked by men with bars or sticks, it's not clear.
Like I said, it's hard for me to comment because I wasn't on the boat when it happened. But two things that make me a little bit that calls this into question. One is that I saw how they treated us on our boat. We didn't have sticks or anything like that, and yet they were very violent, and they immediately went to remove any kind of recording equipment or that we had. So any of the footage that we took was all gone, and then they proceeded to make their own videos. So I would doubt the authenticity of it. But let's say we don't doubt the authenticity of it, and some people did use bars or whatever they had. Again, we have to go back to the fact that Israel launched the initial attack, and they started firing on the boats before the soldiers even descended onto the boats. And while we, you know, had an agreement as a coalition that we would not fight back using any kind of physical resistance, sometimes you can't control how people react to violence, and it may have happened, but they're the people that did defend themselves in this way shouldn't be the ones that are vilified or condemned, because Israel knew that they were launching this heavy attack against unarmed boats and unarmed civilians. I don't know what they expect, that people would just welcome them onto the boats after they fired in this way and they were masked. They did not lift the mask off their face once. They were carrying M16s and other weapons. I don't know what they expected. So it's really Israel's policy that is to blame for the casualties that happened.
And finally, the ships that are moving forward now, with Dennis Halliday, the former Assistant UN Secretary General, who had been in charge in Iraq. He is on the ship, the Nobel laureate, Mairead Maguire. They are moving forward toward Gaza. What's the plan?
That is on the motor vessel Rachel Corrie, which was always designed to be a part of the flotilla. However, it had some mechanical problems in addition to another boat that was supposed to be part of the flotilla and had some mechanical problems. They were delayed. Unfortunately, at first we did not want to say we suspected sabotage, but we weren't saying anything, just trying to deal with the situation. Like 2 days ago, Israel actually bragged about the fact that they engaged in sabotaging our boats. But nevertheless, that's not going to hold them back. We were able to deal with it on the MV Rachel Corrie, and she has been sailing. She is in the Mediterranean now with the personalities that you mentioned on board. However, we, as an organization and as a coalition, are now assessing the most strategic time and way to have the motor vessel Rachel Corrie approach Gaza. We are dealing with the casualties, the results of the attack on the last flotilla, and want to make sure that this one is protected and documented as much as we can, and that it has all the political support that we can muster to ensure success. So while it is ready to start the voyage towards Gaza and probably be in Gaza within 1 or 2 days, we might actually end up holding it back until we can garner more support to ensure that what happened with the last flotilla doesn't happen to the MV Rachel Corrie and the vessels that are to follow, because now there is widespread outrage and people ready to donate more boats and more cargo so that we keep up this effort, this international civilian effort to break the siege on Gaza. So we will try to keep you updated as much as possible.
We want to thank you, Huwaida Arraf, for joining us. Huwaida Arraf is the founder of the International Solidarity Movement and chairperson of the Free Gaza Movement. She was part of the Freedom Flotilla that was heading to Gaza when the Israeli commandos landed and attacked. This is Democracy Now! We'll be back in a minute.